We heard from Mark Kasowitz yesterday, more than an hour after the hearing wrapped up. We were waiting anxiously for him to speak at the National Press Club. What does the legal team for President Trump plan to do here? What do they plan to file a complaint about?
So they say they're going to file a complaint with the Department of Justice's Inspector General, complaining about Comey's leak of a memo that he wrote, an unclassified memo that he wrote to a lawyer friend of his, who then gave it to a reporter at the New York Times. I guess they're going to complain that it was an illegal leak, or it violated some privilege with the president, because the memo documented a conversation with the president.
Kevin Cirilli, let me ask you about the White House's response to the hearing yesterday, more in general. Again, we heard from Mr. Kasowitz. We saw some tweets from the president this morning. How are they responding to those 2.5 hours of testimony we saw yesterday?
Well, they are in full-fledged political battle mode. I just spoke with a source, a Republican source, who was working on the operations to refute what they feel were the allegations presented by Mr. Comey, and they feel that this is something that is still going to remain one of their top priorities, David, for quite some time. As we just heard from Alex, this White House is also pushing back hard, trying to change the subject, but there is no question that there is a mounting frustration that is palpable amongst congressional Republicans. While they are defending this White House, they are also increasingly frustrated about the impact this is having on their ability to talk about other issues and to get across their legislative priorities, such as tax reform, such as health care repeal, and of course as deregulatory financial policies as well.
Tim O'Brien, let me ask you about what we learned about the president through the prepared statement that James Comey wrote, entered into the record. He didn't read into the record yesterday. What we learned from the Q&A as well. We learned a lot about James Comey, the way he operates, and how he's seemingly respected by every member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. What did we learn about the president from the interactions that were described by Mr. Comey?
Well, I think it's the Donald Trump we've always known. He's somebody who's very comfortable reaching into the realm of regulators, law enforcement officials, competitors, anybody he really wants to reach out and touch. This isn't new behavior for him. And I think the difference is, obviously, in the past he wasn't president. And now he's subjected to a lot of scrutiny and ethical norms and legal norms that I think elude him a little bit. I think it's interesting now that they're still fighting the first battle with Comey, when I think this is moving now towards Mueller. And it's going to be a very long-term involvement with Mueller. And the Comey stuff, to a certain extent, could become a sideshow. And I think if they don't get their big boys pants on and start thinking about long-term where they need to go with this, you're going to have what my colleagues just referred to as this sort of daily churn in the White House of an inability to get an agenda pushed through because they're putting out past bonfires.